Wagwan people, me man, Mr. B, and may I make this video in response to a video I saw this morning circulating on social media, Facebook to be specific, from Lisa Hanna, where she is making an argument about Jamaica's unwillingness, to put it mildly or in my own terms, to make a deeper investment in developing the island's culture, or more specifically, to invest in developing the young people and their contribution that they're making to the culture of the country in the areas of music and the arts and dance, etc., etc. Let me be straight that there is merit to our argument, but quite honestly, me, from where I sit, I find her position to be absolutely hypocritical. And I'm going to tell you why, right? One of the easiest things in the world for people to do is talk. And I guess we are all free to speak, myself included, because that's what I'm doing here. But there's a difference with the talking when you, especially when you have had the opportunity to have, been able to have an impact on the very thing with which you speak. Now, according to Lisa Hanna, Jamaica loses billions of dollars a year because of its unwillingness. That wasn't her exact term, but essentially that's the interpretation. The country's unwillingness to invest in the development of its human capital, its people, and more specifically, its young people, because the young people who are on the cutting edge of the technologies and the cultural elements, music, dance, all of the various things, movie making, film, script writing, whatever. I myself, I'm a fine artist. I'm a writer, published author. And I've been in this for a long time. Started out essentially as a hobby, specifically as an artist, as a fine artist. I've been painting for quite a little while. And so I know firsthand the potential value that exists in respect of the all of these cultural areas. And yes, she's right that the country is missing out. In fact, we have created music that is now taken by others into other jurisdictions, and the people who are pillaging these cultural areas are making millions, billions of dollars annually. And none of it falls to Jamaica. The reason is because we did not make the most basic investment that a country can make in its people, is its education. And so from Jump Street, we have that problem. Yes, a handful of people have come through the ranks in terms of, their ability to have them, educate themselves, etc., etc. But in the main, what we do in terms of, having a development program, which have to start with the school curriculum, both at the prep, primary, secondary, into tertiary. There is a lack of cohesiveness. It doesn't recognize the different cultural elements. And while there is some pretense in different areas as to how the culture thing works, it's not cohesive. And so in the area of the arts, we have the Jamaica, what I would call back in the old days, the School of Art, which is now part of the Edna Manley College for Visual and Performing Arts. And that should tie in with the music, with the people who are doing songwriting, etc. But before you get to that, which is a tertiary level, you need to do it in the primary and secondary school system. So you introduce people to these things. You need to provide, coordinated curriculum, right? And then you need at the ministerial level to create a kind of policy framework that not only drives this thing, but it maintains that cohesiveness. So you move from one to the other, because it's not like, you have one thing and then it stops and then you go to the other one. Where a country and a society is a flow. So you're flowing from one side to the other. So your education exposes you to some of the basic rudiments, and if you learn if you can read and write good and you have good comprehension skills, you can write a song, you can write lyrics, and then if you see that music is something you want to do, you make an investment in terms of pursuing that from a secondary level standpoint. So you really don't want to wait till when you're 19, but if you're at a 14, 15-year-old, you want the music, we should have structure, and we're doing this thing long friggin' enough now that we should be able to do that. So by the time you reach age 15, if you want the music, you have a curriculum developed within the secondary school system, or even schools that will take you into these specialist school programs that focuses on that development. And you do the same thing with art, you do the same thing with filmmaking, etc., etc., etc. And so this is the hypocrisy present in Lisa Hanna's argument, because she was a minister of culture, right? Sports, gender, and all of the different issues. But specifically, she was a culture minister. And I remember during the time, because in 2012, Jamaica celebrated its 50th independence anniversary. And I, being a fine artist, living outside of Jamaica, I don't want nothing from Jamaica, right? I come to Jamaica, I buy art from upcoming artists, and I resell, plus I paint and I sell. I have exhibited my work all over the world, right? But in 2012, I decided, long before that too, somewhere around 2010, 2011, that I wanted to do a 50th anniversary exhibition in Jamaica. Reach out to the Ministry of Culture. And the minister at the time was, who else? Lisa Hanna. I know me can't get a response from her. Sent numerous letters. Thank God for, I think what's her name was, she used to work with Air Jamaica and was Minister of Information. Can't remember her name though. Not even that important. But she, if I remember, was Minister of Information at the time, and she decided to take over. In fact, I copied her on the correspondences to the minister, and so she stood it. All I needed was for her to do the opening of the exhibition. And the reason for that, it's easy to have sponsors, to get people to help you with sponsorship when there is a clear indication that the thing, has some official sanctioning, right? Granted, I even donated at the time the use of one of my paintings to the Ministry of Tourism that they use because they have a big to-do in London, where they were using the painting to advertise the JTB participation in the Olympic Games in London at the time. But to this minute, to this very day, right, some 13 years later, 14 years later, may not get a word from Lisa Hanna. But here she is in a video talking about the inability of the country to maximize the potential that culture and the arts and film and whatever has to offer to the country. Lisa Hanna, you're an absolute hypocrite, because you had the opportunity to do something. And what did you do? It's not sufficient that you're not in political office, that you are not the minister, that you are on the fence from the outside. You can raise all of these criticisms. The question you must ask yourself is, why didn't you use your office at the time when you were there to lay the foundations, right, on the very same things that you speak. None of your argument where you're presenting a minister, Lisa Hanna, are arguments that I have any issue with. What I have an issue with is your own hypocrisy, because you were there and you did jack shit as a minister, right? You were in the cabinet where you go to these meetings every week or whenever them have cabinet meeting, and we discuss the plans to advance the country, to advance our young people, the human capital. And you had the most significant ministry, because apart from the fact that you were the culture and sports minister, you were a younger person, some 13 years younger, and appealed to the young people in the country. So you saying it, you pushing these arguments and these agendas, you had the country behind you. Because that's the reason why I had reached out to you, because I figured here is somebody who could get, you did jack absolute shit. So you come here and talking about all of what the country is missing. You need to take, the first thing you need to do with the video is take responsibility for the fact that you did jack shit when you were there. I mean, I really want to come here for carry on, but it burned me when we see people, somebody like this, and because them don't know. I have been there. I am one of those practitioners of the culture. I have spent the last 20 odd years of my life promoting Jamaica's culture. I don't want nothing from any politician. I don't want nothing. No accolade, no nothing. But you damn well ain't gonna get away with coming on social media and making all of these prognostications as if you're the genius when you had the opportunity and you did jack absolute shit. Sorry for carrying on so bad, but if you don't disagree with me, remember you're on a feedback, your comment on the video. Yeah? And if you like the video, hit the like button. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel. But give me your feedback, because them things make me upset. It not stop me, because I don't want nothing from no politician. I don't beg nobody nothing, because I will tell you about your backside, right? I me reserve the right to tell you about your backside at any time. So I not beg nobody nothing. But don't come and try present yourself as if you're a paragon of virtue when you ain't doing shit. More time.